Welcome to the European Marketing Flash Briefing. I'm your host, Paul Fleming. In this special edition, we prepared a quick wrap-up of MWC 19, also known as Mobile World Congress, one of the planet's most important tech events. You'll hear some of the more significant trends and innovations we saw there last week, especially highlighting things you may not have seen in the news. This time, Anna and I will be joined by our agency's senior staff, along with quick soundbites from our tech team, which they made right from the show.
That's right, Paul. We'll hear from our CIO, our creative and technical directors, as well as colleagues focused on AI, chatbots, and agile programming. Paul, what stood out for you this year?
Well, to be clear and concise, I'll use 5 B's to sum it all up: biology, biohacking, bots, banking, and BMW. One of my most memorable encounters was with 2 scientists from the Telecom Innovation Laboratories in Germany. I respectfully call Michal Dunaj and Alessandro Volpato the happy biologists. Their passion for what they do is simply contagious.
Well, what makes them so happy?
Well, they spend a lot of time getting their hands dirty. That's right, they're researching how to base connectivity on biological channels rather than silicon. Things like soil, microbes, and the root networks of trees. The audience was fascinated when they measured the live reactions of a plant to everything that was going on in the auditorium.
I've heard of that. There's a book called The Hidden Life of Trees by a German author. It proves that tree networks exist.
Yes, great tip, Anna. The magic of that session reminds me of what our creative director, Jackie, said about technology at MWC 19.
As creative director, I enjoyed the brand experience like a child. In a big event like the Mobile World Congress, your brand must have an impact over the other brands and create a memorable experience that connects with your audience.
And Sergi, our animation expert, told me he saw some big advances in 3D.
It's very important because we are witnessing the birth of a new language for creativity, but also for practical applications in business.
I totally agree. 3D is a new language. Let's move on now from biology to biometrics, or what some are beginning to call biohacking.
Biohacking? That sounds a bit radical and maybe even dangerous.
Well, I know everyone is going to have an opinion, let me tell you. When we saw a young Spaniard get a chip implant live and on stage, it was a bit shocking for me. By the way, we've got amateur video of that event that our listeners can see on the post of this flash briefing at blog.bevirtual.com. But that's not all that happened. Another man, already with a chip implanted, even made a bank payment just by waving his hand in front of a contactless type device.
Actually, to me, that seems very convenient and more secure.
I understand. One of the speakers there claimed it was nothing new. She said, "We've got implanted teeth and many pregnancies thanks to similar invasive technologies." But I disagree. In those cases, there's no constant connectivity nor I/O with the internet. At 4 years from now, she defined biohacking by using examples of how fitness nuts, or even people battling depression, could have their brains altered, if they wish, by external sources on the net. So Anna, I'm sorry, but for me, that's the death of privacy, liberty, and autonomy over one's own body. In the future, I really think that intelligent marketers in Europe and elsewhere will need to recognize just how sensitive this topic is.
Ethics and tech. You know, Peter, our AI specialist, told me that AI and ethics was also a hot topic this year. Yet, he still seems pretty enthusiastic. Listen.
This year, I've seen a trend of several products developed with AI. I would consider AI very important lately in the industry of marketing because of all the personalization that marketing requires lately. With AI, you can manage and create products and send personalized data with all the data you have of your clients.
Peter is spot on, and the proof can be found in the enormous interest in bots equipped with voice assistants, such as Amazon's Alexa or Samsung's Bixby, which was presented at MWC 19. Koreans even set up a pop-up store on Barcelona's iconic Plaza Catalunya, baptizing it Bixby Studio.
Yeah, people who went there said it was really cool. Samsung wanted to celebrate the launch of 4 more European languages for Bixby: British English, German, Italian, and Spanish.
Bots are really big, as you know, Anna, especially voice marketing, such as this flash briefing our friends are listening to right now. At the 4 Years From Now parallel track for entrepreneurs, Maximo De Lusso, Amazon's chief EU evangelist for Alexa, spoke to a packed audience. We saw 3 rows of people standing in the back and groups sitting in the aisles, especially a lot of young people, Gen Zers.
Wow! What was Max presenting?
His mission was very clear: to convince startups and developers to create new innovative skills, which are the programs for Alexa. The significance for European brands, as well as intelligent marketers worldwide, is the paradigm shift to a true conversational marketing. By the way, this is also a key part of groundbreaking work being done in the UK by The Crocodile, one of the London agencies of our Affinità network.
That's right, Paul. As always, we'll include links to the Alexa resources shared by Max, as well as others about conversational marketing on the post about this flash briefing. Check it out at blog.bevirtual.com.
Do we have time for the final 2 Bs?
Sure, I think so. This is a special flash briefing.
Great. Well, I'll do my best to be quick. Moving on to banking, our team also was impressed by the talk by Maximilian Dienthal, founder of N26. As some listeners may know, the new German bank is really shaking up the financial industry. In only 5 years, this mobile-first millennial bank has grown from 0 to over 2.5 million users.
You know, I think the 5G revolution is helping this. Javi, our technical director, reporting from Mobile World, said 5G will cause consumers to want everything faster and faster.
It was clear at the Mobile World Congress that the main news was 5G, and in many ways, it will affect our life.
Javi is correct. And our Chief Innovation Officer also said something that leads us right to the final B, BMW. He said,
If phone companies can pair 5G connectivity with unlimited data plans, then we could see a rise on streaming content consumption.
I like Edgar's observation, Anna, because as you know, he's always closely watched trends like video on demand, gaming, esports, and other speed-driven technologies. As we end our wrap-up of MWC 19 in Barcelona, let me just add that the omnipresence of 5G that we all saw there will go much further than Netflix. It will affect everything: IoT, Industry 4.0, education, medicine, even the cars we drive or that drive us in the smart cities we'll live in.
Oh, I see. It's your final B, BMW. And you're right, automobiles were everywhere at the show. But why do you mention this brand?
You mean because it begins with the letter B? Or because I used to live in Munich, hometown of beer and BMW? No, seriously, it's more significant for our Alexa listeners than that. As Microsoft CEO said at MWC last week, and I quote, "Today, the car is a computer." Luca De Meo, head of Spanish carmaker SEAT, predicts that in 2 years, over 50% of the cars they produce will be electronics and software. 5G speeds will make intelligent connectivity possible, which was this year's theme at Mobile World Congress. For this reason, Daimler-Benz and BMW have invested $1.1 billion in a joint venture made up of 5 different divisions in order to shape the future of smart cities. For example, launching driverless cars that talk to stoplights and coordinate traffic amongst themselves, creating ways for Gen Z and eco-minded consumers to either share cars or use them on demand, and finally, contributing to a new high-speed green infrastructure in cities based on electric vehicles.
So there you have it, only a small part of MWC 19. Yet, absolutely fascinating. I hope you agree. Please join us again soon when we present the next edition on European marketing and innovation from Europe's leading tech hub, Barcelona. This flash briefing is brought to you 4 times a month by Barcelona Virtual, a European internet pioneer. To visit us, type the letter B together with virtual.com. That's bvirtual.com.